Good evening, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov. Today has been quite the day, memorable if not historic. Why historic? Because today's new Torah is the 10th and makes a complete and very holy minion of Torahs in our show. It's also very unique in that from its first to its very last letter, and every single one of the 8,403, notice I did not say 405, in between, each of these letters were written solely and exclusively for our community and for our shul. It was begun, as you heard before, in the Chabadnik Daily Sanctuary. From there, the first sheet of parchment, the Yeriah, or the cloth, went to Yerushalayim, where the Sofer had worked on it since daily for about a year. When finished, it was sent to Crown Heights, where it has been meticulously checked, twice manually by fellow Sofrim, once by computer technology, and late last night it was brought here by the Sofer, where the last letters and final lamed were inscribed just a short couple of hours ago. And I want to tell you a trade secret. This is not the usual. And by way of example, the other 9 Torahs that we have, several are older Torahs, which were refurbished due to their letters having been faded with age. And these Torahs, of course, were brought back alive, and according to halacha, when they are brought back alive and fit for use, it is considered as if it is a writing of a new Torah. Others, they were begun in one place without any specific cause, finished in another place still without a specific cause, and then sold to the shul. Others were begun for a specific cause and reason, but didn't have the funding to finish. So we were offered to partner with them, and we did. But the Torah today stands out, and we should cherish it for what it is. From the first letter Beis to the last letter Lamed, and as the mantle reads, the entirety of the Torah was written exclusively for our shul and for our community, and of course for the everlasting memory of our beloved Sam, Lucille, Steve Zavodnik, dedicated by their families. Today's Siyum, therefore, is unique, and it will be and should be cherished and remembered for the living reality that it represents. But now the Siyum has concluded. So what do? We go from that last lamed back to the beginning, to the Beis of Bereshis. Lamed and Beis, as we all well know, spells lave, heart. Our keynote speaker tonight is an individual who has merited to reach into the hearts of many, many thousands of Jews from all walks of life. Personally, I have known and watched Rabbi YY, as he's known, since he was a much younger boy growing up in Crown Heights. I, like many other Chabad Hasidim, have observed him emerge onto the world stage of traditional Jewry, to become one of its most sought after orators, lecturers, and authors. And I want to propose to you tonight that this international renown that is genuinely deserved by Rabbi YY finds its source in the fact that he really has the heart, the pulse of modern day Judaism. He understands better than most, appreciates much deeper than your average, but most importantly, passionately cares for the state of Jewish life today. And that is Lev, that Lamed Beis, which we look to tonight, can be found and is very well represented in our honorable guest speaker, Rabbi Jacobson. But rare individuals like this, and certainly leaders in the Torah world, could not possibly become who they are without having had a Rebbe themselves. And I can say with some measure of license, having personally watched Rabbi YY from when he was a young boy, when he literally sat at the feet of his Rebbe, our Rebbe. As a teenager, his position changed, and at every one of the Rebbe's public talks, he was front and center, just opposite and across from when the Rebbe was speaking. Indeed, he and his older brother, Rabbi Simon Jacobson, and a team of like-minded rabbis, and when I say like-minded, I don't mean average minds. Rather, these were rabbinical students, rabbis, veteran rabbinical leaders who had the capacity to retain hours-long talks of the Rebbe delivered on Shabbos and Yom Tov, when there was no microphone or recording devices. And it remains thanks to that team, of which Rabbi YY might have been from the younger members, but certainly through the 80s and early 90s, he played an integral role. And it's thanks to him and to them that we have today the library filled with the Rebbe's works to study and guide us. But much more than just be a photographic mind, able to repeat and to transcribe all that they heard, it is abundantly clear that Rabbi YY's passion, vision, and vital contribution to the lives of so many thousands is rooted and was molded by the Rebbe himself. Society in general, and Judaism in particular, have been in profoundly challenging times over this last century. As modern day discoveries move these issues into much broader and more complex challenges, we had a Rebbe who for 70, 80 years of the century masterfully guided, inspired, taught, healed, and truly cared. Rabbi YY's ability to articulate that vision and apply the Rebbe's utterly genuine love of every Jew and undying concern for Judaism, to articulate it and apply it into action today, is the secret to his success. To crown this memorable day, it's my personal honor and privilege to call upon Rabbi YY Jacobson, a man whose entire focus is dedicated to the post-Siyum reality of the letters Lamed Beis, Lev, the heart of the entire matter. Thank you, Rabbi Jacobson.
Wow, I don't have to die anymore. Some people merit to hear their eulogies during their own lifetime. Not long ago, there was a dinner, and the Master of Ceremonies introduced Senator Joseph Lieberman and extolled his virtues to the heavens. And he stood up and he said, "It's a pity my parents are not here this evening. My father would have appreciated these words. My mother would have believed them." It is truly an honor and a privilege, a thrilling privilege to be here. Thank you so much to Rabbi Jacobson Chabad, to this entire extraordinary community who was gathered here for this great gala dinner celebration, completion of the Sefer Torah. To the Zavodnik and Sandberg families who gave us this special Sefer Torah. The dancing today was electrifying and moving. I want to thank my dear friends, the honorary chairmen of the dinner, Barry Ray, Mark Karasik, pillars of the community and dear friends. I want to thank all of you, so many of you I know, some of you I've met today for the first time, brothers, sisters, friends, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I want to thank all the rabbis and rebbitzins who came from other communities and the rabbis here who are present with us. Thank you all, and thank you for the schus, for the privilege of being here with you. Rabbi Cement mentioned a moment ago in his glorious words that I had the merit during the 1980s and early 90s to serve as one of the oral scribes of the Lubavitch Rebbe of blessed memory. I want to share with you for a moment how I assumed that position. I grew up in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. Some of you know Brooklyn a little bit before your mass exodus, before you chose to move to the place which I call the natural habitat of the Israelites. You know, on Chalamoyed, when you want to take your kids on a trip, you go to Pennsylvania to see the Amish in their natural habitat. So Jew, you come to Florida or to the Hamptons to see Jews in their natural habitat. My late father, who some of you actually knew, took me every Shabbos to the gatherings and the farbrengens of the Lubavitcher Rebbe. They said about the Rebbe, he did not sleep himself, Mela, but he didn't let anybody else sleep, especially on Shabbos. Every normal Jew that I know takes a nap Shabbos afternoon, unless you grew up in the Crown Heights section of Brooklyn. There was no such a thing. No cholent and no nap. Can you imagine? I can't imagine it, huh? Right. The Rebbe would begin 1:30 and go for the day. His talks were brilliant, extraordinary, can last from 3 hours to 7 hours. No tape recorder, singing in between, very festive, tremendous atmosphere, but extraordinary, profound, and long talks. And when my father started to take me there, I was 5 years old. And I have to say, I have to confess that for a 5-year-old, his speeches were very boring. They were Yiddish, they were long, complicated, complex. The Rebbe didn't make a lot of jokes or tell a lot of stories. So, 770 Eastern Parkway had hundreds of beams. I would count the beams. When I finished, the Rebbe was still talking. I began counting the tiles. Now, thank God, the one who built it did not know what he was doing. So there were no tiles that were symmetrical. Over the months, I became an expert on the architecture of 770 Eastern Parkway as a 6-year-old, 7-year-old. I knew every crevice. I noticed every asymmetrical component in that famed structure. But when I finally mastered all of the tiles and their exact numbers, the Lubavitcher Rebbe was still talking. What does a 7-year-old desperate kid do? Well, es chata'ai ani masker hayom, it's Sunday, I'll make a confession. You didn't get that? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it was pretty funny. It's your problem, it's not my problem. So I stood and I took the tzitzis. It's an uncomfortable confession, but I took the tzitzis of a man sitting near me. And I tied it to the tzitzis of another man sitting near me. And I would wait till the Fabrengen would finish. And these two men would desperately try to go home. The zenith of my career. My career reached its crescendo one Shabbos when I managed to tie 4 men's tzitzis together. And it was a skill that took a lot of work and attentiveness and professionalism, silent diplomacy. And I made sure it was the 4 men who lived in the 4 corners of Crown Heights, the east, the west, the south, and the north. With bated breath, I waited for the end of the Fabrengen, for these 4 men to try to go home. And Third World War would break out. And it did. It was a moment, I don't know, it was maybe I have to go to therapy, maybe sadistic, repressed expressions. I don't know what Freud or Adler or Frankl would say about it. But this continued on for a while. One Shabbos, my brutal, sadistic career was interrupted quite intensely and unexpectedly. As in the middle of one of his talks, I see a finger pointing right at me. I take a look. It was the Lubavitch Rabbi.